Kanye West might be the next philosophical genius, to the likes of Arthur Schopenhauer, who inspired Albert Einstein and shaped his worldview, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, and their perception of our unconscious. This video is not a fucking joke. And Kanye might be famous for his music, his Hitler speech, but today we will be analyzing his actions since the start of his 30-year-long career. And it starts with his hypocrisy, him calling out George Bush, but at the same time, hating Black Lives Matter.
May end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
This was said during Hurricane Katrina, where the federal response was criticized for being slow, inadequate, and negligent. But what's important to note is that many people in the Black community felt that if the victims had been white, the government response would have been faster and more organized. But that was never communicated until Kanye expressed his frustration, where everyone else thought the same thing. But Kanye was the only one with enough courage to say it publicly. But was it actually courage? The reason why I compare him to Arthur Schopenhauer is because he believes to attain happiness, it is heavily inspired through Buddhism, which is to remove detachments from the world. And Kanye West, throughout his long and tedious career, has shown significantly, time over time again, that he doesn't care about the social consequences of what he has to say. And almost every time, it never works out initially. His response after the whole backlash is that
you stood up in front of the world and said, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Right.
What'd that do to your life when you said that?
I think it changed my life for the better. I think people understood me a little bit more. They understood, like, this guy is like, has a little baby Tourette's, maybe not quite diagnosed.
Schopenhauer has four main beliefs, and one of them is art and authentic expression. It is through art and speech that gives us way to pierce through the illusions and reveal truth. From the video, Kanye admits that he spoke off the cusp, not from the teleprompter, but from his heart. He characterizes it as almost involuntarily. He's spilling out the truth. Even if he doesn't want to do it, he is doing it.
But the truth just comes out like accidentally, like what's on the top of his mind. And I'm working off the cusp here. I'm working off the top of my mind. I'm not reading the teleprompter. I'm speaking from the heart. And that thing got dialed up and typed into the heart, and that was that.
And you can see this consistently happen throughout the rest of his career, where his statements are not polished calculations, but an authentic eruption of truth, with weak explanations constantly putting him in compromising positions.
Music, so thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor. I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
With this in mind, it makes him even more Schopenhauer-like because his second core belief is pessimism. Life is inherently full of suffering. Institutions and power structures usually reflect self-interest rather than compassion. And throughout his entire career, Kanye has been battling against these institutions where people feel the need to boo him.
This is completely unreviewable trash, and here's why.
People and his personal trainer feel the need to threaten, tell him that he will never see his kids again, he will enter Zombieland forever, and he will need to be medicated, institutionalized, because Kanye is against what the world wants him to do. And this is what makes him even more Schopenhauer-like, because his third core belief is compassion is the highest virtue. Despite all of this pessimism and negativity, Schopenhauer saw compassion as the only true moral force in the world, dominated by everyone's will and ego. Do you think Kanye West is compassionate? I say yes, and let me explain. Kanye is also branded as a hypocrite because he calls out George Bush for hating on the blacks, but equally is an anti-advocate for the BLM movement.
Not on my music. What we gonna do? I'd rather y'all be like, I'm killing 20 niggas and I'm fucking this many bitches, I'm doing all this shit, than y'all saying some Black Lives Matter shit on my shit. Black Lives Matter is like worse than the devil to me. It's mind control.
Equally, I am an anti-advocate for the BLM movement as well, not because the message itself is meant to be anti-black, but instead, people do not understand what ego and will is. The existence of the movement itself is not to push and help black people, but to brainwash, profit, and manipulate people who would fall for it. And don't take it from me or Kanye West, but Schopenhauer and how he is deeply pessimistic about mass movements in politics and collective will. I'm warning you right now, this is going to get fucking crazy, but remember, Schopenhauer inspired philosophers, thinkers, writers, artists, Friedrich Nietzsche, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, Albert Einstein, Edwin Schrödinger. He is influential, not because what he says is wrong, but because it is so true, many normal people can't understand it. He believed that the will is egotistic. Human action, especially in groups, is driven by ego, vanity, or self-interest rather than true compassion. The people protesting does not care about George Floyd. It is a lie. Movements often become about power struggles, recognition, or ego, not genuine alleviation of suffering. Looking back, it's quite obvious that the BLM motherfuckers were doing it out of performatism. I care so much, but nothing has came out of it. It has not affected the culture at all and how we view black people. It might have actually been worse. And additionally, this does not mean Schopenhauer doesn't believe in movements. If it actually alleviates suffering, then obviously it's good. But most of the time, it is just noise. Posturing or self-congratulation is just another form of the will distracting people. Remember every celebrity posting the black squares on Instagram? They don't give a shit. It's obvious brainwashing, and even if they are not, they must participate because they are in the social game. Schopenhauer distrusted politics and public causes, seeing them as endless battles of ego against ego. And I mention all of this because do we think Kanye West is compassionate? Just like Schopenhauer, he may be seen as this hypocrite for calling out George Bush for hating on the blacks, but is also anti-BLM. This is extremely contradictory, but from a Schopenhauer angle, he isn't anti-black, he isn't even anti-movement, he's anti-false compassion. George Bush pretends that he cares.
Well, what he said was George Bush doesn't care about black people.
That says he's a racist. And I didn't appreciate it then, and I don't appreciate it now. It's one thing to say, I don't appreciate the way he's handled his business. It's another thing to say this man's a racist. I resent it. It's not true. And it was one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
People in the BLM movement pretends that they care. People are ego-driven systems that pretend to care while exploiting suffering, and he has consistently dealt with this since the very beginning of his career. Hello everyone, I have to talk over this because of copyright, but you can see this since the very beginning, where Kanye has never cared about public opinion, not going to college, him trying to perform his music towards a music label artist, and her not actually giving a shit. And nonetheless, he is still constantly pushing and believing in himself, even if he could be wrong. The last and final core belief of Schopenhauer is the will as reality. Beneath appearances, existence is driven by blind, irrational will to live and assert itself. A lot of people can be proven wrong after watching this video, but they are so blinded by what they have previously believed that they will choose actively to reject it, even though this video is perfectly organized in something that could be understood. And I'm going to lose people even more. The Kanye Hitler incident, and more specifically, his true intentions. people have actively been trying to misunderstand the points that he is saying. He is not a Hitler-loving dick sucker.
Newsflash, since 2022, Kanye has made it his mission to go full-on anti-Semite, spouting insane conspiracy theories, talking about how he loves Hitler, and at some point, I think he realized how much he fucked up with all of that, so now he has to own this total dumpster fire he's created and boast about how people think he's anti-Semitic now, because yeah, they do.
Okay, let's break everything down since the very beginning. Kanye West is openly Christian. He has Sunday service. He makes Christian music sometimes. And Jesus Christ said that love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This radical form of love doesn't excuse evil. It recognizes even the worst people are still human beings, fallen and broken. Being a true Christian is scandalous because it means that no one falls outside the circle of love. This includes Hitler and the whole controversy.
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. The Jew, I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table.
At the surface level, it is indefensible of what Kanye said, but the more you analyze him and his character, he has consistently said things, even if there is going to be social repercussions. He is all about telling the truth, speaking the truth, even if he doesn't want to. And given his Christian and Schopenhauer-like philosophies, he is meant to tell the truth through compassion, through music, through art, and he's actively rage-baiting, provoking people as a way to wake them up. He deliberately riled emotions to shatter the political facade that says we love everyone except these people. Why can't he wear a White Lives Matter shirt? It's because with BLM, it's not that all lives matter, but our lives are more important. It's the same thing with Christians saying we love everyone except bad people. But the point in Christ and his teaching is that love is real and it must extend even to enemies. Everything he's doing is trying to tear down the facade that everyone has. He wants to expose how love everyone slogans collapse the moment politics or taboos are involved, revealing real hypocrisy by pretending he himself is a hypocrite. And is all of this on purpose? Probably not.
Stop strategizing so much. Stop setting so many plays. Stop doing things only based in fear. Like, the universe will assist you when you are acting in love.
Throughout the entire video, I've been hammering down the point that Kanye West speaks from his heart. He does not care what other people think, and it happens at very small scales, deciding not to go to college like everyone else and pursuing his music career, performing in front of a music label, whatever, and her not caring, but nonetheless still pushing. And it happens at still a large scale with Taylor Swift. He does not care. And more importantly, people like to pretend that he learns his lessons from his mistakes. He doesn't. He speaks like Schopenhauer, where it's through art or artistic speech. He is compassionately trying to express his thoughts for the sake of everyone. And I will say the biggest criticism is that he never explains his point fully or accurately. And he doesn't care either.
I accidentally said how I really feel about stuff, and I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that.
You can do that here.
I didn't know you're supposed to like speak from the, you weren't supposed to speak from the heart when you got an interview. So I made that mistake and I actually spoke from the heart. And then a lot of people say, he seems kind of cocky. He seems kind of arrogant because I'll be mad because so many people diss me. And then like I sold all these records. So I was just like a sore winner. So, you know, I just apologize to everybody for, you know, keeping it so real.
With the Hitler incident, he's actively attacking false compassion. There are so many people who pretend that they care, but then when faced with a conflicting idea under their same beliefs, maybe abortion, they can't seem to make an argument. And that's what Kanye West is actively doing, sacrificing himself to prove a point, and he doesn't care about the consequences because his whole point of life is to be free. Free in what you want to say, free in what you want to do, free in what you want to believe. And he's constantly and still actively trying to do that every single day.
If every time someone asks you a question, you try to say the right answer, your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school?
No question.
On test day.
No question.
So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing.
That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
And ultimately, it's about being happy, having a happy life, raising your family. I feel like the key to life is family itself. So if you can provide for your family, and this is speaking from a male point of view, and be happy, then that's all you need. It's not about that college degree that everybody says that you're supposed to have. There's so many people with college degrees that are not happy with their life.
So, is Kanye West the next Arthur Schopenhauer, a philosophical genius? Obviously not. They're two completely different people, and equally, Schopenhauer strongly is inspired through Buddhism, and it's the main idea of attaining happiness by not having any attachments, you not actively caring. He fulfills parts of that role, and what's even more important is not Kanye West, Arthur Schopenhauer, but you, and how you choose to live your life. Take inspiration from this, because the lesson, the moral, is to not care, not have so much attachments that it holds you down. Why does it matter what your parents think, significant other? Why does it matter what random people and your peers think? Let go of that, because that is only making you more miserable, suffering more. Make sure to be compassionate, live and love life. I loved this video. If you want to watch more like this, why Kodak Black might be a Clash Royale goblin is fucking peak. Check out the Patreon if you want more intellectual, philosophical conversations like this. Goodbye, and thank you.